Hi guys, so I usually don't do comeback reviews due to my constantly changing opinions. However, I sort of found myself wanting to do one anyways. I decided instead of just reviewing, I would just rank my favorites of the first half and tell you all why. I decided to put the rankings into two parts, singles and albums. What I mean is I decided to rank 15 comebacks total, but 5 are just of singles, consisting of at least 2 songs released by an artist. I did this cause for some stupid reason I didn't find it fair to want to put a single song comeback above an album comeback. So even though the first 5 are from 15 to 11, one of them might be above the songs ranked from 10 to 1. If that doesn't make sense, I'll explain it in the comments, but hopefully you understand while watching. But anyways, let's get into my favorite comebacks of the first half of 2020. The main reason this comeback is last is only because it's new. Same with the next one. Maybe in a week or 2 I put it higher, I don't know. But for now it's sadly only last. Sunmi came back and proved she can't disappoint. I loved it from first listen. Although it sort of felt like something was missing, I came to the conclusion it wasn't that something was missing, but it didn't feel as strong as expected. I don't know if that makes sense, but it sort of does to me. I wouldn't put this song in my top 3 Sunmi songs, but I can feel she might be in my top 5 by the end of the year. Sunmi really proved she's a queen. Now if only she will give us an album worth of bops.
How you like that? You gon' like that? How you like that?
Like I mentioned with Sunmi's comeback, How You Like That is low mainly because it's new. Honestly, first listen I was confused. I was low-key disappointed I waited more than a year for that beat. But after a few more listens it grew on me and I low-key became obsessed. How You Like That is definitely not my favorite Blackpink title track, but honestly I don't think it's their worst. I love how they finally gave us Jisoo bridge, though I still wish she got a little more lines, but anyways at least she looked stunning and stole the whole music video spotlight. Even though I don't think How You Like That is a bad song, I still wish YG would either have Teddy stop producing Blackpink songs or have him stop producing similar songs. It doesn't have the same structure of D4 or Kill This Love, but the whole beat drop chorus is kind of getting annoying. But anyways, the girls snapped and I'm glad YG finally let them out of the dungeon. When I heard Natty was finally making her debut, I was so happy and excited. When watching 16 I sort of felt bad for her not debuting, though I am a few months older than her, so I think that was the main reason. But I think her not debuting back then was for her own good. She has improved so much and I am so proud of her. With 19 being a bop, I can't wait for what she has in store for the future. I was anticipating Secret's number debut for a while and I was not disappointed. They're the only artists that came out with another song minus the title track, but since it was only one I decided to rank them among the singles. Who Dis is such a great song and it is so addicting. From the vocals to the rap, everything was well done. Can't wait for their next comeback and hope they end up dominating as rookies.
Wherever I go, you're my home.
I heard of Yazi before, but for some reason never really checked her out. I decided to give Home a listen because I heard people praise it, and let me say I did not regret doing so. I was mainly shook because I knew Yazi is the main rapper of her group, yet she had incredible vocals. I listened to her other songs and was just blown away as well. Home is no doubt one of my favorite songs of 2020. Yazi didn't have to snap this hard, but I'm so glad she did. Before I get into the group rankings, I want to give 2 honorable mentions. Both honorable mentions are for both of IZ*ONE's comebacks. As I said in a previous video, I find Fiesta is their weakest title track and me preferring the B-sides off the album. I didn't mention this in the intro, but the title track is the main reason to these rankings. As much I love the album, I decided to not include it in my top 10 due to me not liking the title as much.
Like swan, swan, swan. 너의 마법이 날 기억나. Like swan, swan, swan.
Surprisingly, their recent comeback is the opposite of Bloomits. I loved the secret story of this one so much but didn't find myself loving the album as much as Bloomits. If you take secret story of this one and put it with the B-sides of Bloomits, then it would be one of my favorite comebacks of the year. I wanted to include this as an honorable mention because I felt bad not mentioning one of my favorite albums and title tracks of the year. Now back to my top 10 favorite album comebacks.
내 맘은 덩더러렁더러렁 누구보다 차가웠던 네가 떠난 거야 잘 된다 점점점 Bye bye baby 덩더러렁더러렁
I'm going to mention this again for a different comeback, but the main reason this comeback is one of my favorites is because it got me into standing Apink. Of course you all already know I like this song since it's my intro, but I love more than just this song. I'm So Sick is one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time. But the reason I didn't stan Apink when it was released was because I didn't know if Apink was gonna stick to that type of music. Although I do like their past music, I do prefer the new music. Seeing how their recent comeback sticks to the type of style I like the best from them, I just had to stan.
노래하듯 나에게도 들려주고 싶은 그 말
Taeyeon just can't come out with a bad album. This is a repackage, so we only got a few new songs, but it was still good enough for me to put it as one of my favorites. Dear Me might not sound like a strong title track, but I love it so much and it is one of my favorites by Taeyeon. The B-sides, especially My Tragedy, are all amazing. Taeyeon proving she is one of the best soloists out there and one of my favorites for sure.
Oh my god She took me to the sky
To be honest, I expected a little more from Idol. I mean, the album is good and the title track slaps, but I think it is one of their weakest. The B-sides aren't that bad, but I think they could have been better. But despite that, Oh My God is such a great song. I think the problem is that I wanted more B-sides, but I am still happy with how the album turned out. Idol doesn't have a bad song and they proved that with I Trust. First of all, it's a coincidence this comeback is 7th. Second, I was hesitant to put this sort of low, but I decided to based on how often I listen to the B-sides. I listen to Moon like every other day and it has become one of my favorite BTS solo songs. For the other B-sides, I do listen to them often as well, but not as much as Moon. Maybe I'm biased, but Moon is really that bitch. For the title track, I think On is a really good song, though not their best. Although not my favorite album from them, I do think it is one of their best. I knew of a tease before I heard their songs, but didn't find myself standing for some reason. But then I listened to Answer and all of a sudden I'm listening to their whole discography again and standing them. The reason this comeback is so high is because it got me into a tease, as well as the fact so far Answer is my favorite song from them. I can't believe I didn't stand these kings sooner.
그러니 한 번 더
More.
멈추지를 못해 그러니 한 번 더
Twice continued to prove that they constantly set the bar higher each comeback. Honestly, I still don't know if More and More is my favorite album from them, but it's definitely one of their best. Sweet Summer Day and Firework literally perfect B-sides. The title track is good, although not their best, it isn't their worst. I also love Queen Momo's iconic dance break.
그러니 한 번 더
Thank you Twice for blessing us with another flawless comeback.
You're so dun 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 dun. You're so done.
I don't care what people say. Dun Dun aged like fine wine. My favorite ever Glow title track for sure. I can understand why some people dislike it, but I love it. The whole album also slaps as well. The only problem is the line distributions, but I've already gone off on that, so I won't talk about it. All B-sides are top-notch and I love them so much. The girls really snapped with this one. Honestly, at first I debated whether I would put this comeback so high due to the fact it's mainly cause of the title track. The album slaps and I love it, though I prefer a few other albums that were lower on this list. Wannabe is definitely the main reason It's Me is placed so high. To me it's their best title track so far, literally perfection. All the B-sides on the album slap, especially That's a No-No and Nobody Like You. It's proving they are really monster rookies.
Please settle one, two, scream. Double R's come
Tree of Language is filled with bop after bop. I was so happy Dreamcatcher was coming back with a full-length album and they did not disappoint. The title track is amazing and so are the B-sides. My favorite is definitely In the Frozen, though all B-sides slap. I also love how Xi'an gave us an amazing solo song, Paradise, literally perfection. If you haven't listened to the album, then what are you waiting for? Grab some popcorn and sit back and relax, cause I have a lot to say about this comeback. First of all, despite me being a K-pop fan for over 5 years, I somehow have never heard of Yoonha until her comeback featuring RM was announced. Of course, as an ARMY I was gonna support, and that's exactly what I did. But instead of just supporting Winter Flower, I decided to listen to the other song, the actual title track Dark Cloud. After the first listen I was already hooked, especially with this part. Transported to heaven indeed. I then decided to listen to the whole album, and let me just say I was blown away. Don't be surprised if you see all 6 tracks on my top 50 favorite K-pop songs of 2020. Anyways, I was disappointed in myself for just discovering an artist with such a beautiful voice. After listening to her other songs, especially this song called Run, I was legit mad at myself for not knowing of her sooner. After listening to Run once I was automatically hooked. Top 5 favorite K-pop songs of all time, no question, no doubt. I can't track my Spotify plays, but she probably beat Room Shaker at this point. I now stan Yoonha and she is one of my favorite soloists indeed. So basically the reason this comeback is first is because the whole album slaps, and due to it I discovered such an amazing artist. If you have only heard Winter Flower and no other songs, then you are missing out. Anyways, that is it for the video. It was sort of hard to make since we got so many amazing comebacks the first half of the year. These rankings might change when the year ends, so if you were sad one comeback was too low, then check back at the end of the year for a chance it might be higher. If you want, comment your favorite comebacks below, or if you agree with my rankings. I hope you enjoyed watching. Okay, bye.
How you like that?